Hi, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and today we are going to talk about all things hot and new in immigration on another edition of Beyond the Soundbite. So let's jump right on in. The first thing I want to talk to you all about, really let you know that most of this morning rather, will be on all things U.S. immigration, specifically with the green card applications, as well as the U.S. passport. We're going to see some changes there as well. So the first thing I want to talk to y'all about is the medical form. Whenever you are applying for U.S. permanent residence or your green card, you must see a USCIS approved physician. That physician will conduct a medical exam. They will look at whether or not you've had vaccinations, whether you are currently ill, whether you have communicable diseases. And they will fill out a form. They will give you that form, that report. It will be in a sealed envelope. And then we send that sealed envelope off to the Immigration Service. Usually that medical is only valid for 1 year. Quite some time ago, the Immigration Service understood that it was having a lot of issues and really just backlogged with their green card application, so they extended the validity of the medical to 2 years. Well, recently, in the last week or so, we have now seen the medical exam extended to a validity period of 4 years. But not everyone's medical is valid for 4 years. They are doing that as a way to overcome and help them work through their backlog. So if the medical is now valid for 4 years, that saves them the time, energy, and effort, quite frankly, of issuing a request for further evidence and then waiting on us to get the medical and then send it back in. So if when you submitted your medical, it was signed by the doctor no more than 60 days before it was submitted, it is no more than 4 years old. And here's the tricky part, you guys. And USCIS makes a decision on your green card before September 30th of this year, then you do not need to obtain a new medical if your medical would have naturally expired under the 2-year rule. If you receive an RFE for your medical and your medical meets this new 4-year requirement, you don't have to get a new medical done. You just need to provide USCIS with a copy of their own policy change, which is on their website, and let them know that, in fact, your medical is now valid for 4 years. If that makes you nervous to go on the website and pull down their own policy, my office is more than happy to help you respond to that request for further evidence. But understand that now medicals are now valid for 4 years. If it was signed by the doctor no more than 60 days before you filed your green card application, if it would already naturally expire under the 2-year requirement, and if USCIS makes a decision on your green card prior to September 30th, 2021. So hopefully that will help us see more approvals, fewer requests for further evidence solely regarding the medical. But also, please know, several years ago, immigration said that you no longer need to file your medical with your initial green card application. So if you have not done so and you have not filed your medical, that is okay as well. They will either send you a note saying that your application is deficient, and that you are to bring your medical with you to the interview, or they will issue you a request for further evidence requesting your medical. What we are now seeing is sometimes we are getting just a regular request for further evidence just of the medical in cases where the medical was not submitted initially. In those cases, we are seeing interviews being waived and green cards being issued. That is not a policy. It is not a blanket across the board situation that is happening, but we have seen some of those happen. So if you get a request for additional evidence solely for your medical, you're not quite sure whether or not or how to respond, whether or not you need a new medical, feel free to reach out to my office. We are happy to help you with that. The second thing I want to talk about also deals with your green card application, and that is applying for a Social Security card. So under the old system, what had to happen was you were approved for your green card, then you had to go into your local Social Security office and apply for your Social Security number. Now they are Immigration Service as well as Social Security Administration are working together, and you can now apply for your Social Security card when you apply for your green card. Your Social Security card will not be processed until your green card is approved. So it's very important to know. So once your green card is approved, the information that you put on your green card application will be sent over to the Social Security Administration, and they will start processing your Social Security number and your card. So that is, I think, pretty wonderful. We are looking at a little bit more efficiency coming out of the agency as well as interagency cooperation. So that's kind of nice. I also wanted to talk this morning about the Diversity Visa Lottery. So the Diversity Visa Lottery of 2020 was, it was complicated. It was confusing. Some might even say it was an absolute mess. Because of the COVID-19 virus and the pandemic, the consulates across the world shut down as a way to be safe and to keep their employees safe, as they certainly should have. One of the things that came out of that, however, was diversity visa applicants were not able to get into consulates and have their interviews. And so by the time they were able to do that, time was definitely winding down in terms of the deadlines. Diversity visa has very, very strict deadlines. So litigation ensued, and recently, on August 17th, district court judge has now held that those applicants need to be given an opportunity to finalize their diversity visa applications and go into the consulates, get those interviews, and see if they can get those applications processed, and then be allowed to enter the U.S. as diversity visa winners and then green card holders. So we are looking at over 9,000 applications that are eligible to now have their applications completed. So that is great news. If you are unsure, if you are part of that over 9,000 number, if you're unsure how to proceed, feel free to give my office a call. We're happy to help you with that. We can be reached at 954-903-1337. Next up, we are going to talk about the public policy as it surrounds the public charge rule. So during the prior White House administration, we saw a very, very, very restrictive public charge rule come into play. So restrictive that it wanted credit report printouts and printouts from bank statements and of the petitioner and the beneficiary. So that rule was quickly litigated in court, and after a little while, it was ended. So we reverted back to the previous public charge rule, but I told you guys that was not going to be the end of it. And we are now looking at an advanced notice of rulemaking, which we knew was coming. So we're looking at a new rule under the current White House administration, under President Biden. And that rule is set to actually be released today. So later on today, hopefully that rule will come out. I will get it, and we will talk about it a little bit more in depth next Monday. But that rule is slated to come out, and we think we're going to get about 60 days in order to comment, so that the Immigration Service can take into consideration those public comments. But we are looking at a new public charge rule, you guys. So I don't know what it will look like. Like I said, hopefully it will come out today, and we'll be able to talk about that next week. But we are definitely going to see some changes in the public charge rule. The last thing I want to talk to y'all about today are U.S. passports. It's pretty rare that I talk about U.S. passports, but I want to talk about them today. So we are looking at a proposed passport rule from the Department of State that would allow for passport renewal not only to be done via the mail, which is how it is done currently, but also they are looking at an online option. So I'm going to say that again. We are looking at a proposed rule, so it is not rule yet, it is not law yet. We are looking at a proposed rule where we may be able to renew our U.S. passports online. That would be an incredible amount of efficiency. This is not a response in a temporary rule. It would be ongoing if it indeed is actually published as a final rule. So this is not a COVID-19 temporary situation in order for them to work through the backlog. This would be sort of an ongoing permanent rule. So I will definitely keep you updated on that. Right now, it is simply proposed. So they are going to get public comment. They will see what those comments yield and make any revisions that they feel are needed. So I think that would be pretty exciting and pretty cool if we could renew our U.S. passports online, as opposed to either sending them out through the mail or going down to your local passport agency, because not everybody lives close to a passport agency. So that is all the news I have today, y'all. This has been another edition of Beyond the Soundbite with Carol Williams. I am working with Williams Immigration, so if y'all have any questions about your individual case, or you're looking to file for a green card, you're not quite sure what's going on with your medical, and do you need to submit one? When do you need to submit it? Is it valid for 2 years? Is it valid for 4 years? Feel free to give my office a call at 954-903-1337, and we're more than happy to help you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday and a fantastic rest of your week. And I will be back next Monday with another edition of Beyond the Soundbite. Bye.